Welcome to this Killick Explains video, and the eagle-eyed viewers amongst you will see that the format has changed. This allows me to do a little bit more, and assuming you like it, this is how things will look from now on. So today's topic isn't actually brand new. I have covered this before elsewhere, why investing and gambling are not the same thing, but I want to cover it again in the context of the so-called pump and dump scheme, which has made the headlines recently. What is it? Why should you steer clear? Okay, so some basics first of all. Investing basically should be fairly dull. That was the view of a previous Nobel Prize winner. So if we break that down, it should be like watching grass grow. What do we actually mean? Well, investing, these are the kind of words you should associate with it, is long-term. Compounding takes a while to work its magic. It is relatively low risk, because it's not that we're never going to see volatility. Things go down as well as up, but we're going to aim to ride those periods out. And over on the right, it is normally regulated. Now, gambling, on the other hand, is all those three things turned on its head. So short term, often a matter of hours or days. It's high risk, and over on the right-hand side there, usually unregulated. And that regulated, unregulated is a reasonably reliable guide to whether something fits into the investing bucket or the gambling bucket. Now, we could start to think about products we might put on the left as an investment or the right as a gamble. So, for example, over here, I would personally put shares. I would personally put most bonds. I would personally put cash, if you want to call that an investment, and we could put property over here as well. Now, property as an investment is a mixed bag. Personally, I tend to think you want one to live in. That's got to be a priority. You might want to share one with your family. You might, on that basis, perhaps, if you're lucky enough, have a second property as a holiday home. But beyond that, I don't really see property as a mainstream investment. Nonetheless, it does fit into the kind of long-term basket. Out on the right, well, for me, and people will be screaming at the screen at this point, crypto, unregulated, relatively high risk. FX, currencies. All right, now currencies are everywhere, but as an investment, pretty low risk. I would put commodities over here. Okay, those go into my high risk basket. And something we'll come back to in a moment, shares in certain situations, what I'm going to call the pump and dump. All right, so just watch out for situations where something reasonably safe is turned into something reasonably risky. Now, what we're going to do, get rid of those, is just to move on and consider the warning signs for something being more of a gamble than an investment. Then more on that P&D, pump and dump, coming up. So hype and celebrity endorsements, not a guarantee that you're entering something which is high risk, but it's fairly likely. Time pressure and urgency, get in now, don't miss out, that kind of messaging. Okay, and over on the right hand side, too good to be true. And the pump and dump is a classic example. You could make double your money in a week, highly unlikely. Think about it, markets are efficient. Why is it you're being offered an opportunity which no one else seems to have spotted? Okay, so the pump and dump. Now, this is a classic, all right? This involves shares. I thought you said shares were safe, Tim. They can be, but watch out for the circumstances, and this is a classic. So the pump and dump is you find, let's say, as the con artist, Chinese shares which are about to US list. All right, so excuse my scrawly handwriting there, but let's say you've identified a fast-growing, exciting-sounding Chinese company that's about to list in the US. So what you do as the pump and dump fraudster, if you like, is buy a load of them, okay, wait till they come to market, and as they come to market, you hype them. Okay, so you go into internet chat rooms, onto bulletin boards, and you hype the shares. You get loads of momentum behind them. So they arrive on the market, people pile in, retail investors pile in, and then you make sure that you dump the shares that you hold and wait for the rest of the market to collapse behind you. All right. So basically it is piggybacking on the back of demand that you've created for something which doesn't deserve the hype in order to make a quick buck. Watch out for that one. Okay. Be careful. These semi-regulated or unregulated stocks exist, and you could easily fall foul of that temptation to make a quick overnight buck. All right. So moving on, rules of thumb. How do you spot something like a pump and dump scheme? There's only one free lunch in investing. It's called compound growth. It takes a long time to work. It's incredibly effective. It's the idea of making money on money, rule of 72 and all that good stuff, but it is slow. It's get wealthy over time, not make a quick buck. If you can't understand how on earth you're going to make money quickly, then you're probably not. Number two. And number three, markets, as I mentioned before, are efficient. And what that means is most of the opportunities have been spotted by algorithms, by professional traders. So it's highly unlikely that retail investors are being offered something that the rest of the world has missed out on. Now, finally, if you'd like to know a little bit more about any of the jargon I've just covered, any of the terminology, three usual sources presented slightly differently in this video. My other videos, my how-to guides, and of course our quarterly magazine Confidant, all available at killick.com/resources. And for feedback on the content or format of this video, it's editor@killick.com. And I'll finish by just flagging up something which I need to, which is the disclaimer. Okay, everything I just said might have been nonsense, but it probably wasn't.